So I've always stated my interest in doing this in a very short manner. Generally speaking, I don't believe a review should drag on for more than 4 to 5 minutes. 6 to 8 if the episode is juicy. But what if the episode is way beyond juicy? What if juicy can't even start to describe an episode? Ladies and gentlemen, it's me Sharif here, and this is going to be my review of the 8th episode of Westworld, otherwise titled Decay. From the name of the episode to its very core, this episode was extremely packed with lots that we can talk about and discuss, including existing theories and new theories as well. I'm going to try and focus only on the existing theories from previous episodes on this video, and then I'll talk about more in future videos this week. The funny thing though is some of these theories totally contradict one another, but that's the beauty of the show. It's amazing how each episode leaves us fully entertained but fully confused as well. And it is in that 1 week gap between episodes that the dust of our confusion starts settling, only for the show to give us new mind-blowing information that takes us through a new roller coaster ride. But without further ado, number 11. The name of this episode, Decay, refers to the theory that states that forgetting occurs as a result of the automatic decay or fading of the memory trace. Decay theory focuses on time and the limited duration of short-term memory. This theory suggests that short-term memory can only hold information for between 15 and 30 seconds unless it is rehearsed. While the theory is not mentioned out loud in this episode, the concept is explained by Felix to Maiev. He tells her how humans experience memories imperfectly, while the minds of the hosts seem to maintain a total recall of past events. Now that would clearly explain how the memories Maiev keeps having of the man in black killing her and her daughter horrify her, leading up to her slitting New Clementine's throat. And yes, that's what we're calling New Clementine, because I don't have the memory to learn all these names anymore. But number 10. While a lot of fans out there believe that the return of Angela, portrayed by Tallulah Riley in last night's episode, is living proof to the two timelines theory, that is not necessarily true. Angela, if you haven't noticed, is the same host that William first encountered as he chose his attire and hat before entering Westworld. Knowing that Ford is building this whole new Wyatt narrative, he could have just moved her from one narrative to the other. But number 9, it's you. I thought that they had retired you. I guess Ford never likes to waste a pretty face. Again, those words said by the MIB to Angela seem to have sparked a lot of belief that the theory with him and William being one and the same is now confirmed. And again, that is not necessarily true. I'm pretty sure that having such a job, as in meeting the guests as they visit Westworld, means she has met several faces over the years. Pretty sure she wasn't just created for William. That would probably be too expensive as well. Besides, we're not sure how her and the Man in Black met in the past as well. But moving on to number 8. The Man in Black's background story has been partially revealed. I'm a god, titan of industry, philanthropist, family man, married to a beautiful woman, father to a beautiful daughter. I'm the good guy, Teddy. Then last year, my wife took the wrong pills, fell asleep in the bath. Tragic accident. 30 years of marriage vanished. How do you say it? Like a deep and distant dream. Then at the funeral, I tried to console my daughter. She pushed me away, told me that my wife's death was no accident, that she killed herself because of me. Then they said that every day with me had been sheer terror. The Man in Black claims that he came back to Westworld to give himself a test, find out whether he's evil as his wife claimed. The act of evil turned out to be the memory of Maiev and her daughter from a previous narrative that now keeps haunting her. And yes, he did not feel anything when he did that. But as the Man in Black describes it, instead of the usual host reaction and inability to fight back, Maiev tried though. That is how Maiev ended up moving to the new narrative as the Madam of the Whorehouse. So Maiev has been reassigned a year before these events, which we know from a previous episode. That means that the MIB's return to Westworld happened around a year before the current events of his and Maev's current storylines. But number 7. That story as well, the story of evil and darkness that the MIB relays, could both work with and against the William is the Man in Black theory. It definitely does work in favor of Logan being him though. Think about it, a lot of people based this theory in part on the fact that the Man in Black is actually good and is in Westworld to save the hosts by freeing them from Ford's tyranny. But it seems he isn't. He is inherently evil, as he did admit to Teddy during the episode, and that makes us kind of doubt that premise the theory is based on. I don't like telling anyone I told you so, but someone actually argued with me in a previous video that the Man in Black is nice on the outside, like in the outside world. That means he's nice on the inside, and I mentioned he comes here to show his bad side. But no one believed me. Let's move past it though. We also have the fans who claim he's William and he has been turned into a cynic character because of what Dolores did to him, which is a theory involving like more assumptions than facts. We're not just theorizing here anymore. With this premise, we would just be writing our own elaborate story when there is no real proof at the moment that Dolores is using him, especially that she seems lost now more than ever. The only thing though that feeds into this theory from this episode is how William reacted to the boy in this episode. Are we confident William did kill him? Not really, but the way the whole scene played out might insinuate that, or at least try to throw us off in that direction. But with a show like Westworld, nothing is really what it seems. So far, we've seen William try to help Dolores even after they get to the church steeple, and she seems to break down. William tries to get her back to Sweetwater out of his fear for how she seems to be losing it. Now Logan, on the other hand, has been trying to take them down. Well, Billy, I've been looking for you for days. Man, are you two fucked. Now we have Dolores repeatedly mentioning Arnold and the maze. Could this be it? Could this be the start of the Man in Black's claim to saving the park from Arnold's plans to destroy it? I mean, with how things ended for Dolores and William, with Logan finding them after forming his own small army, it is pretty possible he is MIB, and this is about when he realizes what Dolores is trying to achieve and saves the park, as his possibly future self claims, in the not so distant future. But number 6, looks like Peter Abernathy is going to be playing a bigger role, as a lot of fans hoped, considering how amazing his short-lived role as the show premiered was. Charlotte has recruited Lee Sizemore to upload 35 years of park data into Abernathy's brain and help her ship him out of the park. Looks like the Delos plans from corporate are moving forward one way or the other. Number 5. It is not the first time for Maiev to have exceptional consciousness. Back when her daughter was killed at the hands of the Man in Black and no engineer could stop her breakdown up in management, Ford was the only one who could. As he promised her to ease her pain, she begged him not to, as her memories is the only thing she has left of her daughter. Ford erased her memories regardless, and when everything was supposedly fine, she stabbed herself in the neck with a scalpel. Number 4. We might have a dead Elsie on our hands, or that is again one of the things the show is attempting to trick us into believing. So after Ford uses Bernard to remove any trace of their crime against Teresa, Bernard asks him if he ever had him hurt anyone before. Ford denies it, but Bernard, however, seems to remember choking Elsie. We do not really see her go all the way from being choked to completely dead, but it could as well be a possibility. However, I do not think they would go for this with 2 major characters on the show 2 episodes in a row, especially that I believe Elsie was a fan favorite since the show premiered and until this very moment. On the subject of Bernard, after his memory has been wiped of the murder of Teresa and his love for her as well, a conversation with Stubbs has him find Bernard completely oblivious to his relationship with her and lacking in care or emotion to that effect and to her dying, leading Stubbs to having suspicions about Ford's robotic helper. Number 3. She was loyal and careful. All this feels extremely unlike her. That is how Charlotte describes Teresa, and that brings us to a very important question. Was that confirmation that Ford actually killed Arnold? Remember, a few episodes back, Ford used a similar description, almost the same actually, to describe Arnold's death, so it kind of makes you think. Number 2. A wise man once told me that war was coming to this island. I think it just got here. The words of John Locke, or well, fake Locke, to Charles Widmore on Lost feel very befitting to the current situation on Westworld. The war did just get there. So when Felix tries to stop Maiev from getting the behavioral changes she is pursuing, he tells her that she would still need an army to break out of Westworld, to which she responds, "That's exactly right. I need allies, and to get them, I'll need administrative privileges." Post getting those privileges, Maiev seems to be capable of overriding her basic programming that does not allow her to actually hurt any other human being. That was evident when she almost killed Sylvester after slitting his throat before asking Felix to save him under the premise that they might need him. When she goes back to the park, she seems to have the ability to mind control other hosts, direct them to do her bidding. It is definitely going to be interesting watching her go up against Ford in a battle of wits. But number 1, the show might have just revealed Ford's endgame. He says, and I quote, "One man's life or death is a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge that I sought, for the dominion I should acquire." Host or not, Ford seems to be the mad scientist from the 80s series Beyond Westworld. He's out for control, probably outside the park, but most definitely in it. So besides these top moments and theory updates, the episode was also composed of great acting and great writing. It was, as usual, one hell of an amazing episode. I've posted a video yesterday with theories regarding the objectives of Delos, or endgame of Delos that is, and the location or possible location of Westworld. You can find it linked on the end screen to this video. And while I try to cover most of the implications of the events of this episode on the already existing theories, I'll probably come back to you later on this week with new theories, especially when it pertains to the maze, Maev, and Dolores. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode and what you did agree with in this review, theory-wise of course, and if I did miss anything here or there, do let me know. And as usual, if you like this video, let me know you do by dropping me a like, and if you want to see more where this came from, make sure you subscribe as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.